Yes. Now we got some friends already. Wow, everybody's ready to go. Hello, friends. Let me just load this up. There we go. Thanks for coming to hang out for some reading sprints tonight, everybody. Wow, people are already talking about what they're reading. Let me go back here. Happy Friday. We got Tori starting the night out with me, but we have 4 other friends who may or may not pop in and out, so I won't name them just in case they can't make it. But yeah, what is everyone reading? You're between 3 books, Heatherly. That's awesome. Kathleen. Oh, I'm so happy you could come. Tamara Alexander. I wonder if I've heard of her. Beard in Hiding by Penny Reed. Nice. Hooked by Emily McIntyre. Saw that. Great book. A Breath of Fire. That's a great one. That one I have just over there, so that's why I was looking at it. Our Violent Delights. Nice. The Bride. Oh, those are the 3 you're reading. Got it. Mission Impossible. Nice. Has anyone read All He'll Ever Be? I have not. It is literally right here, Sarah. Merciless is the first one. Here's the thing. I love Willow Winters, her TikTok, her energy, all of it. Yeah. Her books don't really work for me so far. I've tried 4 different ones. Her asshole heroes are just a little bit too much for me. But I always want to keep trying because I like her so much, so I keep buying her books. And I don't have a problem with that. There are plenty of authors that I buy their books to support them and don't click with them. But this, I guess, is her like most popular series, the Merciless one. So I might try it again because I bought this beautiful book. Also, I was telling Crystal this. If an indie book shows up at Barnes & Noble next to me, I buy it because I'm buying those books, so they keep ordering them. So literally I've bought so many from there that I'm not even sure if I'll read, but I was like, well, hence why I have 1,700 books that we're scanning in tonight. So that's great. We'll keep going through this. And then I'm reading Invitation to the Blues. Okay, I've never heard of that author, I don't think. Interesting. Always Only You. That's a good one.
A good one.
Read. Nice. Enthralled. Yes. That one's right here. So beautiful. And the lady who designed that cover is one of the sweetest people ever. She's amazing.
I can't believe you met her. That's awesome.
I know. She was so cute. She was so cute. It was great. I was worried she'd be like super shy, which is fine. But I was like, oh, she's an artist type. She'll probably be really like quiet. No, we both didn't shut up the whole time. It's great. You liked All He'll Ever Be. Well, that's good to know. Maybe I'll read that then. Be Still My Heart by Emily McIntyre. Nice. Reading physical books from my shelves. So they're old. To Tame a Wild Cowboy. Nice. I love me a wild cowboy. Still Beating. Have you read this yet, Tori?
No, I'm reading it next month. Yeah, I'm excited.
So fucked up. So great. Hey, Jen and Tori. It is 2:36 a.m. Wow. You're in Greece. Well, thank you for being here. Love lettering. Great. Spider book is on my TBR. Great. I love that it's just a spider book. And Bloody Heart. Wonderful. All right. We all caught up. So, Tori, what are you going to be reading?
I have 4 books. I don't know what to read. Maybe you guys can tell me. So I have this one, which is Two Fights by Nikki Castle. This is the second book in her like MMA series. The first book, he's an MMA fighter. In this book, he is an MMA fighter, but he's about to retire, so I don't know where it's going to go. Okay. I just got this one, so I'm really excited. It just came out. I have this little novella by Lorraine Keith.
Oh, I literally won't read that one.
I'm so scared. Like I can't read
it. I mean, Rachel told me it was really sweet.
Yeah.
Because you get to see the epilogue from the last book is in there too. Yes. And I'm just like, I can't. But
I don't know. I bought it. I have it. We'll see. Because that'll finish that one. I have Splendid.
Mm-hmm.
By Julia Quinn. And then Twisted Hate. I don't have a physical copy, but Twisted Hate by Anna Huang. So that's the 4. I haven't started any of these, so I'll just pick one. This is all I want to read this weekend. I just don't know what to start with. So someone
I love it.
Needs to tell me what to read before
we start. I mean, Splendid is so good. I'm
so excited.
I'm going to be scanning that one in while I have that down here somewhere. It's down here somewhere. My Julia Quinns are the first batch is the historicals that are like behind me here. So that's Eloisa James, Jennifer Ashley, Julia Quinn, and then my mixed one. So I'm excited to do those. But yeah, that's
in Europe, right?
But she's an American.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that one is, yeah.
Yeah, she's an American heiress. She's a redheaded American heiress.
That he thinks is a maid or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, the kitchen.
Yeah, maid. The second one in that one is really funny too.
You should have her on your channel.
Oh, girl, we will get there someday. It's too. I waited too long. Like I should have done it in the off season. Like Bridgerton is coming.
Oh, yeah.
But it will happen. She knows who I am. She knows I exist. She's commenting on my things and like all these things. So I'm like, I see you. You're there. It's gonna happen. But
it'll happen.
Yeah, Eloisa James, I plan to get her in the next couple months. Like I definitely plan to have her soon. So
I cannot believe she sent me hello.
I know. Well, I like it because she's active on her own socials. Those are the authors that it's easier to get to. Yeah. Like the biggest issue I run into when I'm trying to get these traditionally published authors is that if they don't handle their own social, like the older authors, it's very tough to get to them because I don't know how many of them think that they would even want to be on YouTube or they think it's weird or like whatever. But these authors like Eloisa James, like she does her own stuff and she's been willing to do, like I've seen her on Instagram. She's done Instagram interviews with people. So it's easier to get access to them. Whereas if I have to go through people's like PAs or whatever, I feel like it's tough to make your pitch to them. So hi, Bree. Thanks for joining.
Hi. You're welcome. I'm glad I was finally able to make one.
I know. Well, see, here comes everybody. It's great. See, I just yak away. Hey. Tori just shared with us the 4 books that she's trying to choose from. So you should show them again, Tori. Hold them up.
I got this one. It's by Nikki Castle. It's an MMA. Second book in a series. It just came out. I have this novella by Lorraine Heath. It's super short. Yeah. Splendid by Julia Quinn.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah, and then Twisted Hate by Anna Huang.
Yes.
I don't know.
Good. I'm gonna be choosing. I need to just start a new book too because I just finished. It was actually very sad. I just finished my last Elizabeth Hoyt that I had left, and so it was very bittersweet because I've read everything else, and so it was very sad that when I finished it. But I'm glad that I finished those. So I'm either going to do The Duchess in His Bed, which is book 4 in A Sin for All Seasons. I've been really liking this series. The one I read yesterday, I like cried a bunch at the end, which I just love. It's beautiful. Sorry, I'm staring at it. Or else on my TBR for February is I want to start the Mayhem in Mayfair series by Grace Calloway because I hear that her books are very spicy for historicals. And this was actually written almost 10 years ago. Yeah, over 10 years ago, this series is. And I'm like, did not know that. Yeah. So all of these books are on any place. So
I love that cover. It's so pretty.
I know. Yeah, this whole series, the covers are gorgeous. I have the first 2. So I'm going to like flip a coin to see which one I start with for this. It'll probably be this one because the narrator is Kate Redding and I could listen to her read me the newspaper. So I'll probably listen to that one. But anyway, how about you, Jessin? What you got today?
Well, today I just finished Monroe after like dying because I could not start reading it until I was done with all my school stuff and it was killing me. So I finally finished it today and I was so excited. But I'm going to be rereading Marriage and Murder because we're going to be doing it on the podcast and it's been a long time since I've read this one. So has a little bit of a mystery, and one of my favorite characters from the Winston. So it'll be fun to dive back in.
Good stuff. Bree, what you got?
I am reading Something Fabulous right now by Alexis Hall, and it's so freaking good. I'm buddy reading it with Steph right now, and she actually just sent me a voice memo that I have to listen to, but I'm going to be listening to that on audio. The audiobook's really, really good, and I am also going to be updating my reading journal and my bullet.
Nice. Yeah, I'm excited. Yes, Heatherly, thanks for joining. You're so awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Cool people. But yeah, there are still 2 more friends who may show up while we're doing this. But I was telling everyone my plan is to do 30-minute sprints, and then we'll chat for like 10, 15 minutes. And I'm planning to go until I'm at least almost done with these. So they may have to drop off at different points, but y'all are going to be here with me for many hours, you people watching. So come and go as you please. But
I'm here for the long haul. I brought wine.
I got my sparkling wine here. I have to put it in a safe container mostly so that I see it. I find I need the thing on here so that I see my glass. Because I'm not very spatially aware of myself. I end up knocking shit over.
Oh my gosh.
So
Since you said that, I will probably knock mine over now that you just said that.
I was telling Tori before, like I was so chaotic before I got here because I was trying to eat my food, but I was answering everyone's messages, and I dropped an entire container of red pepper flakes in the kitchen.
Oh my god.
And then I flung some of my food on the floor on accident while I was trying to eat. I was like, what is wrong with me? I'm like a 5-year-old trying to eat my dinner. I have all my books, I should show people watching, I have all my books lined up so that I can scan them. So I was like, please don't drop food on my books. I don't care about my carpet. I don't want them on my books.
But wait, Jen, can you explain how you're doing this and what you're doing?
Sure.
Because I need to do something similar with my books, and I want your process.
Absolutely. I'm a chaotic person, so thanks for pointing that out. So there's this app. You can get it in iOS or Android. It's in both. It's literally just called My Library. Okay. It's a little stack of books is what it looks like. Everybody, this is the one I'm using. And it's free. The guy it is possible to send donations to the creator. So I try to do that once a year. I send him $50 or something because I love this. Mm-hmm. But there is a way for you to download your books if you get a new phone. But I did it wrong this time. I don't know. And so I have to do it all over again, which does happen. So I got a new phone last week because my other one was dying, and I have to have an up-to-date phone to do all my social media like we do. But anyway, how I do this. So this app is really cool. There's just a little plus sign down here. And so that will come up, and you can some of the older books, you can't just scan the barcode because they weren't up to date, but you just type in the ISBN, the ISBN, and then it will bring the book up on your phone, and you'll say, is this correct? And I'm like, yes. And if it doesn't have a picture associated with the ISBN, then I take a picture of the cover. And then what you can do is you can have them listed as either read or unread. So if they have the little check mark, it means they're read. You're able to search by categories, by series. If you make comments, you can say if you borrowed it to someone or not. You can search by unread and read and stuff like that. So I don't know. I've been using this app for 6 years. Back when I only had literally 150 books 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Do you keep up with it when you unhaul books?
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah.
See, I need to get better about that.
Yeah, because all you have to do to get rid of it is to hold it, and then you delete it if you don't have it anymore. So yeah, whenever I'm getting rid of books, I will just look at the stack and take everything out. So it's really been amazing because the biggest issue is all of the historicals that I have. When I go book shopping, I don't know the name of every book I have. So I'm or the version, because sometimes a book has the same ISBN, but it'll have a different cover. So when I'm at the used bookstores, I'll be like, oh, I don't have that one. And then I'll get home and I'll be like, you have that one. You did.
That's the worst.
So the app is amazing because I can just pull it up and I just always, when I'm at the used bookstore, I have my phone open, like checking all the books and everything. So, and if you try to scan it and you already have it, it will be like, hey, you already have this book. Do you want another one? Whereas like, you know, I have 4 copies of Outlander. So I tell it, yes, I have 4 copies of this. They're all different and everything.
It's fine.
Yeah. So anyway, this is a pitch for my library, everyone. They are not a sponsor, but that's what I'm going to be doing, is scanning 1,000 books in the next few hours. So it's time to get started anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see, it's 6:49 here. So we'll go till 7:20 CST.
You put your rating in there too? What the heck?
You can, yeah.
What? I'm obsessed now.
I use Goodreads and mine is so out of date because I got rid of so many books and like have gotten more books. I need to just get a new system.
Yeah. And obviously the point being, like, it is a process if you're one of us and you're starting with hundreds of books.
Yeah.
You know, if you're starting with that many books, yeah, it's a big process. But that's also why it's great, because how many of my books are unread? I don't know what they are, you know.
Right.
So the same reason there's a lot of them is the reason why it helps. So we'll show this one more time. Yes, it's called My Library on either one, either app store. That's what it's called. It's free. It's great. So, okay, let us dive in. We'll see you in 30 minutes.
Yay.
Just in time.
Oh, I was waiting.
Everyone.
I'll end this video because I saw that you guys had like another like 10 minutes, and I was like, oh, I'll just sit
Oh,
and then join and then like just sit here quietly.
That's funny. Jessin, they just name dropped Jack Dodger in my book. So
Did they really?
yeah.
Oh, I want to reread that series so bad, but there's so many that I haven't read by her. I feel bad for rereading.
Oh, the St. James series?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good. I need to finish all the other ones first too.
Yeah.
I literally
There's
have
so
a
many.
spreadsheet with all of the, and I feel like I've read so many of her books, and I've read like half of them. And like,
She has so many.
she does have so many. She's amazing. Well, my update is I'm only in chapter 2, but my updates are going to go by how many books I got scanned. That's what my updates are going to be. So I started with 680 and I made it to 729. So I got through 50 books. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Tori, did you start scanning books too? Is that
Well, I'm sitting here, so I didn't realize that Splendid is available on AnyPlay.
Yeah.
That's how I listen to it.
Yeah, so I didn't know that I didn't know any of the books that I had were on audio. Like, I didn't want to buy it. So I looked, I was like, well, I'll just start scanning. Why not? Because I don't know how to keep up with like my physical books. And so I was like, well, we'll try it. Apparently I reached my maximum, so I had to pay.
What?
It makes you pay like after 50 books or something like that.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I've never had to pay for it.
It's $4.99. I think you just pay for because I got the free app. But I scanned 53, so.
Okay. I don't know. I've literally had it for 6 years, and I pay him just because whenever. So maybe I'm grandfathered into that or something. Yeah. I've literally had it so long. But I mean, granted, like you should pay for it. It's amazing. There's no ads or anything on it, but.
Okay. You can just search online and stuff if you don't have like a book or the cover, which is really cool.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. What are people reading? I know Tiffany is reading The Wrong Heart, so I had to pull that up. This book. I read this one over Thanksgiving. It's so good. Because after I read Still Beating, I was like, I have to read another book by her. And now I realize that, she just likes to kill you all the time. So I'm going to space them out.
Sounds like my kind of author.
Yeah, I did just buy her newest release that she did with someone. And it's supposed to be like the hero's wife cheats on him. So he's going to cheat on her with the wife of the guy who cheated on his, like, that's what the setup's supposed to be. Is like, he's going to seduce the woman who's the wife of the guy who slept with his wife. That's what the setup's supposed to be.
Interesting.
I don't know if he's still, I don't think he's still married either, but either way, I'd be up for that. That's the kind of cheating I'd be okay with. Revenge cheating after someone. I'm fine.
Oh, this is the author of Still Breathing.
Still Beating, yeah.
Still Beating, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that one like everywhere, I feel like.
I know. Yep. Yeah, I read that one back in like October probably. It was a lot.
It was 4 months ago.
Yeah, that I read it. Does it say when I read it? Night Angel, just a reminder of this. We're doing reading sprints tonight. So we just read for 30 minutes and now we're going to chat for a little bit and then we'll do it again. I'm scanning my library into an app that I have. It's called My Library. I should just have put this all in the description, but it's okay. I wasn't that well planned. And I wanted some friends because when I scan my books and I'm listening to an audiobook sitting on my floor scanning books, and I was like, I could just as easily be live with people. And look, there's 100 other people doing the same thing. So that's what's happening. Madison, what are you reading?
I am reading, at least today, I'm starting something else tomorrow. I'm still reading The Words by Ashley Jade. Yeah, the one that I picked up the other night. So I'm like around about this far into it. So I read like 45% in the first night, and then I didn't really get much done last night. So I only have like just over halfway to read it.
How's it going?
I'm actually enjoying it. I don't think it's going to be for everyone because it's how her writing style is. And the guys in it, like some of the things that happen are definitely not always great. but there's something super addictive about it, and like I really can't help myself.
That's what it is.
It's so he writes.
Her books are crazy. Her books are crazy. Like I've read quite a few of them, but they're like a soap opera you can't put down. So I'm just like, whatever.
This is today's book, and then I'm starting From Liquor with Love tomorrow. So why I was not planning on picking up this because they're both massive. I need to finish Marion as a part of vlog that I'm in the middle of doing by Tuesday, and I was like, I need to get started on that. So
I have to address this. Victoria, it's okay. Next you get to read Raylan and Riona. So it's okay. A lot of people
Raylan will fix everything.
A lot of people struggle with Dante's book. It's okay. It's okay if that didn't work for you. It also, you know me, girl, it also has all the tropes that I hate. I still like that book. But now you get to read the hot cowboy that I don't shut up about. So there you go. It's okay. It's okay. Moving on. Anyway, I had to comment on that, of course. But yeah, there's a lot of people that feel that way about that book, and it's okay.
You had a question about the app, Jen.
What's now? What's happening?
They're asking if the app is free.
Yeah. So apparently, it is free for the first 50 books, which I did not know because I've had it for 6 years and it was free when I first got it. But now the first 50 books that you scan in are free, which definitely not for romance readers. It won't be free. But after that, I guess it's $4.99, but it's just a one-time fee. I don't think that's a month. That's not a monthly fee.
I'm gonna double check because it didn't say
double check.
It's an ongoing thing.
It would be rude.
I could have clicked later, but I didn't. I clicked to buy now, so I guess maybe if you click later, you don't have to pay. I just did it because I was like, why not?
Yeah. But either way, like when I first got it, it was free and you could donate money to the person doing it. But I love it. I love it. You can also, I didn't say this, you can also scan in comic books. You can do video games, I think, are on there too. What else it has? So it isn't just for that. Yeah, you can do comics, movies, and video games. So you can basically, all of your entertainment you can have in it. I can't show it on the screen, guys. You'll have to look it up. So anyway, I have, and I have over 1,600 books. So we're getting there. We got through 50, which isn't a good sign.
You're in
I need to focus better. But anyway, and yeah, I'm sure there are other free options but with that, technically Goodreads, you can use that. You can in here, but we all know how buggy that is. The only issue that I have with it is that, like I said, when I get a new phone, I've had to reload them because for some people it works. I've had it work before, but I also only had like 500 books when I did that, and I was able to download the Excel, and then you can upload it onto your phone. But it doesn't keep the pictures, it doesn't keep the covers. So, but I don't know. It's worth it to me because when I go shopping, I always have that open and making sure I'm not double buying something. So anyway, how was everyone else's reading going? Sorry, you know me, I talk a mile a minute, so you just got to butt in if you want to say something. So I'll take your advice.
I actually didn't get very far into Something Fabulous.
Yeah.
But that's because I kept getting distracted, and there are a lot of things happening because I'm toward the end of the book, and there are a lot of things happening. So I was updating stuff as I was reading it, so a little slow, but nice. It's so good. I love it so much.
Good times. Good times.
Tori, how are you liking the audio for Splendid?
I mean, I'm only on chapter 2. It's good until I forgot her name. The girl with the child, she was like, my child. I'm like, your voice is annoying. But
okay, I hated the way that she did every other female besides the heroine, because every female sounds like that. That's not the heroine. And I was like, I hate this. But I like the story, so it pushed through the audio.
Yeah, Justin hated
I was like,
that.
this is the worst. I hate it so much.
I might go back because I have the physical. I was just doing it. I'm tired, so I'm not going to scan anymore today. But it's nice that I have that app now. So when I get bored while I'm working,
it's so great.
I can just come in here or whatever. So
yep. Hey Riley, thanks for coming. People loving something fabulous.
I'm surprised. I thought my library had that book to borrow, but now it's like not showing up. I'm like,
Isn't it? It's on KU. I thought maybe I could be wrong.
Something Fabulous?
I thought so. Am I wrong? I don't know why I thought that.
I know. I hate when I'm listening to an audiobook and then there's just one voice that is like annoying, and I'm like,
yeah,
ruins the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. I didn't even realize
that happened with the Sarah Nay that I read recently, and the hero did the male narrator did horrible voices for women. It was so like I honestly was like insulted. I was like, is this how you think women speak? Because this is bullshit. Like I was pissed. I literally DNF'd that book. No, I didn't. I finished it. I gave that book 2 stars because of the narrator. The book wasn't even that horrible. Like it wasn't even like a 3.5, 4 star, but I gave it 2 stars because my experience made me so angry. I was so bad. Like this, and not for an annoying person, for the heroine. Like there's a sex scene, and that's the voice.
Oh, it's hers.
Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that. Thank you. Thank you very much. I would not like to be. I don't like to be cringing for that reason. Like there are other reasons. Heather, you said you're cleaning your bathroom. She said, why won't you highlight? There it goes. I put up a shower curtain and read it. I love it. I love it. Oh my word. People talking. I hate when there's a single narrator for male female voices.
Sometimes they can be pretty good. Like
sometimes it can be okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I listen to mostly historical and it's always just one voice. So I'm used to it. But again, there are some narrators who narrate for my favorite authors that I think their male voices are, it's female who does the male narration is really sexy. So,
yes.
like literally like Kate Redding, she does great, like guttural, like male voices. It's so good. I'm just like, ugh. I like how she does it better than like some men that I've listened
I know. There are some female narrators who do great male voices.
Yeah, there's some great ones.
I feel like it's more likely to find a male narrator that sucks at doing a female.
This is so true.
This is so true. I mean, my favorite book series, The Lady's like 82. So I just had to get used to. Although the voices she does for the children, like they don't sound too bad, and like for Bree from those books, her voice isn't too bad, but because she's an American in those, so. Mary Jane Wells, yes, she's great. Kate Redding, Mary Jane Wells does Lisa Kleypa's books, most of them. Joe Arden, yes. Okay, we know how we feel about him. I literally, where are they? He's doing The Dawn and the Lady, and I almost am like, I don't know if I'll be able to listen to those. It'll just be too inappropriate for me to listen to him do that.
Don't listen to him at work.
Woo, I know, man. The things that I've listened to at work.
Did you hear who is voicing or doing the narration for Sophie Lark's new duet?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
The guy from TikTok?
Yeah, the dude who did Molly Doyle's and Dina Isley's as well. Yeah. Got on to his because he's like pretty booked out now too.
Mr. Lark promised me that he's upgraded his equipment because I was like, I can't listen to a full-length book of how the narration for games we play. I'm just like,
yeah.
Thank you. I'm so glad I wasn't alone in that. I was like, this is just not.
I was like, your voice is sexy, but I can tell this is like your first, which is fine. It's totally fine. But I was like, this is the first book you've done because it's pretty. And that's just something too that people who all we do is listen to books, you know. So I'm picky about the fact that I was like, you have studio sound and your mic noises, and you're having a wet mouth for stuff, and I'm just like. Okay, your voice is sexy.
It's very noticeable too when you speed it up too, and you can hear a lot of it.
Yes. That reminds me of like, there was, which series was it? There was one YA series I listened to where literally she didn't take out her breathing. So after she would do a thing, there would be I think it's the Fae series by Amelia Hutchins. Yeah. Like her breath after each thing, I was like, no, that's not how you do that. No. You breathe. You like, no, you cut those out.
Edit it.
And when you speed it up, it sounds like someone's heavy breathing while they're reading it to you. They're like, and I'm like, oh no, I don't like this.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay. Well, are we ready for another sprint?
Yes.
Ready.
I'm going to do a goal now. I'm going to say I want to get through 75 books this time.
Should I switch books? Should I go from Splendid to Twisted Hate? Or should I keep reading Splendid? I don't know. I don't know which one. I have so many books I want to read.
You're only 2 chapters into Splendid, so you could keep trying, even if it's still kind of like,
yeah,
audio's not doing it for you. You can skip over.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably do that. That's a good idea.
We'll do 5. Okay. Well, I'm going to do it. I'm getting the ticker thingy ready again. We'll catch you back in half an hour. Here we go. just do it very quietly. Hello, everyone. Like, you know,
I hear the
when everyone's reading very intensely, I don't want to scare them.
Yeah, I really can't explain like her writing. Like I've only read The Devil Duet by her, so like I haven't read her other stuff. This is only like my third book technically from her.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, but the thing is, the scenes that are really cute. I'm like,
yeah,
cute.
No,
But it's also, like really messed up. Like this is a lot of messed up shit that happens, and so
yeah,
you just gonna be someone who's like okay reading stuff, but you're like, that's fucked up.
yeah. The thing that I've noticed for her is that if I'm reading one of her books and it's a dark romance, like it's supposed to be a dark romance, I'm okay with it. But I've read a lot of hers now that are either her like new adult or they're like a contemporary romance. And then the way that her characters act just pisses me off because I'm like, you are not in a dark romance. Quit being such a dick. I don't know.
I think for this one, it's not that it's like dark necessarily, but like he comes from like an extremely like abusive household and like people have died around him and like things like that have happened and like he's like got messed up because of that and like she was like intensely bullied and like the things that she went through. So it was like like I feel like dark can be really weird because like when I think of dark, I think of like dark. It was like this is technically dark.
I know. That's my point that I'm making. Is they're not a dark romance, but they have all these triggers and all these really like intense things. And so just for me, this is personally like, if you're going to be a dark romance, I'm cool with those things. Like, because I'm like, that's what I'm reading. But when I'm reading one that it's not technically a dark romance, but you just have all of this like triggering stuff in it, I'm like, well, who's your audience then? That's just how I feel as a reviewer. So I'm like, who's your audience here? You're not dark and you're not a contemporary. What are you? So anyway, that's how I feel about it. But anyway, how's everybody doing? Why is it in the surprise baby trope that it seems like the baby becomes the center of the puzzle? Well, because it's a surprise baby trope, Lynn. I think you answered yourself in the question, hon. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you, my dear.
My thing is, what's the difference between so surprise baby is like, oh, accidentally got pregnant. Whereas secret baby is I've already had the baby.
And I'm not telling you.
Yeah. And I'm choosing to keep it a secret. Or accidentally keeping it a secret because you don't know who the person is. That's the only time I like it.
And they like meet up like a year later.
Yeah.
It's like, oops, I have your kid.
But yeah, that's the difference. Surprise baby is like we're together and oopsie, we're pregnant. We're probably like we're staying together because we're together. But a surprise baby is usually like in the past. And then something happened. Either she chooses to keep it a secret, circumstances make her keep it a secret. She thinks she's dead, one of those things. And then it's a secret. That's the difference.
I think I prefer secret baby to surprise baby.
Oof.
I've just preferred more secret babies than surprise babies.
No, that's totally. There's plenty of people who are like, why you got to ruin this with a baby showing up? A lot of people feel that way. I'm like the complete opposite way.
I'm the complete opposite as well. I like
it rages me for someone to keep a baby a secret unless it's one of those things that I said where like they don't have a choice or the person's in the mafia and they're evil and you don't want them to have your baby. Like those are okay. But for someone to be like, oh, I don't think he wants a baby, I'm not going to tell him. When you have no evidence that they don't want a baby and they'll just be like, bye. Ugh.
Oh yeah, that's
I want to hurt someone. I'm like, no. But anyway, but everybody likes their favorite things. Like I like oops babies a lot in romance. I like it because it's in a fantasy. It's in the perfect, like it's in a perfect world situation. Mm-hmm. That's why I like that. I don't want that to happen, people, in real life. My most recently born niece was an oops baby to my sister and brother-in-law, which makes me laugh. I'm like, you're living a romance trope. It makes me so happy. We've been married for 13 years, so they're oops baby. It was fine.
Just think my oops babies like in books. I'm fine with them happening. I just don't like when it happens when like, oh, maybe they've had like an intense fight and then like something's happened.
Yes.
Like, oh no, now I'm pregnant. I'm like,
yeah. No, I literally just like the book I was reading today that I was really like I was loving it. And then she's like, oh, he doesn't want to be burdened with this. I'm going to go marry somebody else. Without giving him more than 5 seconds to decide if he was okay with it or not. She was like, he didn't seem excited about this. I'm going to go marry this other person. And I was like, wow, you just fucked that book up for me. I was having a great time. Literally his brother died. And that's why he's not getting back to her about this baby. Okay, the baby's 9 months away. My brother just died. Okay, give me 5 minutes. I was like, wow. Sorry. Anyway, I was having a morning today. I was very upset. I was like loving this book. And I was like, oh, she's pregnant. Yay. And then she's like, I'm going to marry somebody else. And I'm like, what? Anyway, so yeah, that's a different. Oh, Lynn had something to say. I guess so. I'd much rather have the baby not be the center of conflict. It should be about the parents in the conflict. I mean, that's fair. I just think in general, if the trope surprise baby is or secret baby is in there, that's what the book's gonna be about because that's a pretty big deal.
It's like a mixture between like it's not necessarily the child itself; it's more so the idea of like the child being hidden,
what it means. Yeah,
yeah, and yeah, yep, what you said. Sorry, I did not get through 75 books. This is we may not stay here for me to get through 1,000 of them, but I'm gonna keep it going with this. But yeah.
What did you do? How many did you
get? Hold on, I made it to 797, so I was close. So I did 60 instead of 75.
You got close.
Yeah. Still not enough. But it's okay. I like having people hang out with me, so I guess the baby trope is not right. Fair enough. I mean, there's plenty of people like there is a whole part of TikTok where people are like, oh, baby showed up. You ruined it. I mean, that's just fine. I think one of the reasons though goes hand in hand, a couple reasons. Like a lot of ladies, like we do like reading about babies, especially if they're not our babies that we don't have to deal with. A lot of people do like babies. Also, when you're reading books where people have sex and a lot of people like the things that go along with that, surprise babies are going to happen because the risky sex that happens in romance, again, not in real life, in romance, people like that. People like reading it. So
can I point something out that I realized while I was reading Kingmakers is that everyone's having sex, but no one ever uses a condom in Kingmakers. And I'm like, how does
that distracts me?
Yeah, that's the only time I realized it was in those ones. Yeah. And I was like, hang on a minute. What?
How are there no consequences?
The guy's like, I have one in my wallet. I swear it hasn't been in there for a long time.
Yeah. There was a really cool discussion on Fated Mates. They had the author on who used a condom for the first time in a like category romance. She had written in contraception, and she was the first author who wrote that in a mainstream book.
Nice.
Which was a really fascinating conversation about how she was able to get it in there and keep it in there that protection was used, which is now, point being is now we notice when it's not used, especially if you're someone who is a sexually active person. I'm like, can you just say, oh, I'm on a pill? Then you can keep going, you know, at least say that.
The amount of times they say that, but I always sit there and I'm like, bruh, the amount of inaccuracy when I'm like, oopsies, forgot it today, or like,
also STDs. Like half these people are like playboys and sleeping around, and then I'm like, ew. Get tested, buddy.
Is it weird to say that I notice it more in certain types of books? Like in certain types of books, I feel like it's okay that if you're going to be free for all, nobody's asking about, have you been tested recently? And we're not going to talk about birth control. It doesn't bother me. But then there's certain books where it's like glaringly obvious, like y'all should be having this conversation. And I don't know. I don't know if I can pinpoint exactly what it is, but it's just certain books I'm just like, that is completely fine. And other books I'm like, y'all should be talking.
Well, for me, it's actually like an easy line for me. Like in dark romance, I don't care.
That's
if it's a contemporary, regular, like people who are like us, I need them to talk about what they're doing with that. And if they're not mentioning it, then I kind of expect there to be a surprise pregnancy. Like, I don't know. The lack of is like louder then, you know. I don't know. That's just my opinion on it. It's like if they're not mentioning it in a contemporary, I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to notice that they didn't mention it.
But no one ever goes.
Especially if they say like 4 weeks later, and wow, why is that funny smell making my stomach upset?
Right?
Like,
You're just like, oh,
pregnant.
Yeah.
Those are red flags for me. That's how I can tell. I'm like, should I stick with this book, or I hate like surprise baby or anything like that. I'm like, should I stick with it, or is this just like a coinky dink that she didn't mention it, and then I'll stick with it a little bit longer, and then they do the 4 weeks thing or 8 weeks, and it's like, oh, I feel like I'm really nauseous. And I'm like, done.
What could it possibly be? What could it be? I only had unprotected sex the exact amount of time ago.
Yeah. But I also sometimes feel the other way is I'm like, there are also plenty of people who they don't get pregnant the one time they haven't had sex. Like there's also the other side of it is I'm like, I'm not saying it's not risky, but there are plenty of people who like can have sex the other 27 days of the month that they're not fertile and go 7 years without having, you know, I don't know. My brother and sister did not my brother and sister and brother-in-law literally did just like cycle tracking for 10 years and didn't have a baby till they planned to have a baby. So I'm saying like, it's possible if you know how your body works, you know this. So anyway, it's romance that happens. Oh, people are talking about Julie Quinn. Yes, I'm literally like was scanning her books and while we were talking, so it was making me happy.
I only read the Bridget books, but I read them.
I'm in the minority. I like Splendid.
Oh, you like Splendid? People didn't like Splendid.
I like Splendid, and I like the Duke. Splendid.
I hope people continue it because Minx is my favorite one in that trilogy.
You know how hard I've been trying to get that in the other cover?
Oh yeah, I know, man. I didn't even know there was alternate covers of those ones. What I want
the money as well.
The money I've
spent. Like, do they have an alternate of this one?
Yeah, they have alternates of.
I think so.
I don't think I've seen what this one looks like in the alternate. I can look it up too. I just mean I always see Minx and Splendid, but I never see this one. This one's great. This one has a wounded hero in it. It's very good. But yeah, Minx is my favorite one. It's so funny. It's so funny. Like, yeah, I love her books. Her older ones were much like sexier and funnier, and her newer ones are kind of lame. Oh yes, okay.
That's actually really gorgeous.
I know. I love this one too. So my hope is that people read Splendid and then they'll read the other two in the trilogy. The next one I've been able to find is I was able to get this one.
I have that one too.
The only one that I have.
Oh no, I forked out so much money when I read like the Bridgerton books. I read them all on my Kindle. And then afterwards I was like, now I want them all with the step backs. And I went through like a phase and I hunted for them.
Yeah.
Very intensive. That's also when I went through and like I bought like in the span of like 3 months, like 200 historical romance. What have I done?
I mean, what do you think's taking the most time to scan in for me? It's because I have 1,000 historical romances in my apartment. So. And half of them are red. Like most of them I have not read.
Oh.
But, next up is this one. Just, oh my gosh, I love looking at all of them. That's the best part about having to rescan these in. I just get a look at them all.
I love them.
But anyway, let's see. Oh yeah. See, this is what I was thinking of too. Yeah. In Mafia, nobody's using condoms in Mafia. Just
the girls are normally like all on like different kinds of birth controls because they like have to be for they're normally not on anything.
No, they're not on anything. Not even their mistresses either. They don't do anything. They don't care how many bastards they have. They're just growing their
empire.
They're just like, oh, let me just pregnant all these people. Oh, good. I love it. Read it. See, the Duke and I wasn't my favorite. I like It's in His Kiss. Yes. Oh, that's what I was going to say. I have all of the Bridgertons in hardcovers, all the original hardcovers. And it's so sad because only 5 out of the 8 have the step backs on the back.
Oh, really?
Yeah. An Offer from a Gentleman doesn't. On the Way to the Wedding doesn't. And one other random one doesn't. So 5 out of the 8, you can find them. But 3 out of the 8, they just never printed a hardback that had the step back on the back.
That's weird.
Yeah, from the lips of Julia Quinn herself. She told me so. So,
and they only do the hardcovers normally, the printing for the educated librarians, mostly the printing that way. And then the spares that are left over are what kind of trickle into other places.
Nice. Yeah, the Duke and I found that the hardcover with the step back for $1.50 at a thrift store.
Wow.
6 months before Bridgerton came out. 6 months before Bridgerton, the TV show, came out, I was like, if I want these, I need to buy them all right now. Because that's the thing too, is like I sold my paperback set. I had a set of paperback. Not all of them had step backs. I sold that for like $120. Because I was like, I have the hardbacks and I'm getting the special editions from the one box. So I was like, I don't know.
Oh, you got those ones? Nice.
Yeah, I did. Paid way too much for that fucking box, but I don't care.
I don't regret it. I'm okay.
No, I don't regret it. Because I mean, even though like they're not the prettiest things that I've ever seen, because they're very like Jane Austen looking, and I prefer sexier things than that. But I will buy any historical romances that are going to get special editions because of romance blowing up. Like, I don't care. I will buy them because...
I didn't like the one that was done for Bombshell, though.
Yeah, but I didn't... That's not really what I mean. I mean, like, ones I loved as a kid that are getting brought up. Like, that's cool. Those ones are getting it. But, like, Julia Quinn, I've literally loved her for a decade. Sarah McLean, I love her as a person, but like her books don't touch me the way that Julia Quinn's books touch me. Like there's like a difference for me. Like Eloisa James, I hope some of her books get pretty editions someday. Like
I hope some of her Desperate Duchesses get some beautiful editions. Those are
and not the way that like Julia London's book got redone.
Which one is that one? Is that like the...
Is that the one that you did the other night that you were talking about? The one from years ago?
The Hazards of Hunting a Duke. That trilogy is hilarious. That's a hilarious trilogy too.
I'm just like a huge fan of the stuff that they're doing with a lot of the...
I know. I'm hoping it will pass eventually. Like, I don't know. I mean, it will pass. That's the point. Like the one I was talking with Crystal about this one night, and I was like, you know, what will happen eventually is that we'll have all the different versions of these books that we have, like, you know, just think about it. Some of those books have went through how many versions since then? And like, if we keep these now, they'll be awesome when we're like 60 or 70 years old. It'll be like, I have the original copy of this before they did this or whatever to it, you know? Like,
oh, that's true.
Like, I remember, you know, like they said they're going to go back to the regular size now. You know, they're not going to do this size anymore. They're going to go back to this. There also used to be the books that were like a little bit taller. They were awkwardly a little bit taller because there's a series by Catherine Coulter that I love. Is it the Bride series? No, I can't remember. Whatever. But book 7 in that series was one of the tall ones, and it only came in the tall one. So I had a whole set of it regular size, and then
I hate when series don't match up. It's so annoying.
Well, I was like, that was a failed thing that happened too, and they went back to normal, right? So it'll happen eventually. It's just hopefully they will reprint them in whatever size it ends up in later on, so we don't have these.
I will not be surprised if a lot of them we see a shift towards them just being published in trade paper.
Oh yeah, full size one.
Just because of sales of mass markets. I mean, like the current authors who are like the diehards, like, you know, the Claypurse, the McLeans, like those will all probably stay regular size. But that's why you're seeing a lot of the newer HR authors being published in the bigger sizes.
Yeah,
the masses aren't selling, and people aren't buying them or putting them in places.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things too where it's like, what's the variable? Because for me, I'm not buying those ones because I don't like how the covers look. So I'm only buying the authors that I want in that size. So it's like, what's the variable? Is it that we're not liking the covers that you're putting on new ones and they're blaming it on the size that it is? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not doing the research. I'm only speaking from me. You know, I haven't spent the money on it. But that's one of the things I wonder is like when they're making that decision of like, oh, let's go to this size or whatever. It's like, is that what we really want it to be? Or is it we don't like how the covers look? Like, stop making them in cartoon covers. Make them look sexy again. Like, this is how I want my book to look. If you're not going to give me the step back, fine. But I still would like it to look like this, please. Thank you.
Agreed.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyway. Okay, now I'm just whining. It's fine.
No, but it's a mood because the thing with historicals is like collecting them. Like that's
Right.
collectible.
Right. I mean, just charge what you're going to charge for it. Like I heard the thing too, like they made it bigger so they could charge more for it. And I'm like, but does that even make sense? Because it's still like, then it costs more to make it. So
Right.
I don't understand. I don't know.
No, it was because they thought that making it bigger would make it easier for people to read them. So they were thinking that more people would buy the mass markets because if they're a bit bigger, then you can hold them better, which is true because
they are, yeah.
Read the regular ones.
But then they don't, but then, I don't know. But then it doesn't fit as well in a purse when it's bigger size. It doesn't fit as well on my shelf when it, like, wasn't the whole point of these ones? They, like, fit in your purse or whatever? I don't know.
Yeah, pocketbooks.
Yeah, they're supposed to be that size. That's why. I mean, I don't know whose pocket this fit in.
It was back when you had...
It was back when pockets were more functional.
You didn't have better pockets.
Dress pockets.
Yeah.
Massive dress petticoat pockets.
Love it. I'm being, what's this? Yes, they're called pocketbooks. Yeah. Okay. Let's go till 9 now. Everybody still holding in good? I'm talking too long. That's the problem. No wonder I'm not getting through any books. Nobody's surprised
that I came as well because I did the exact same thing.
I know. I'm like, it's okay. I'll just tomorrow I'll end up spending that afternoon doing it too, so that'll be fine. But anyway, okay, here we go.
That was fucking hilarious. This book, I can't, like, the amount of different emotions and shit.
We're coming back early, everybody. Because Crystal showed up.
Oh, hey, boo! I was too distracted.
No, I wasn't. Like, when she came on, she was with sound, and I didn't mute her fast enough, so we were like, oh, Madison's laughing, we'll come back. Because I'm, like, at a good spot to stop anyway. Okay. I only got through, I got through 50 that time. Oh, my goodness.
Well, that's good. You're at least you're getting quicker.
No, I'm getting slower.
Well, no, it wasn't the full 30 minutes.
I think we had more time this time. It's okay. I was getting distracted by naked pictures, so it's fine. Katie Robert, I have all her, like, art that she sends her patrons, like, stuffed in my books. So I was, like, grabbing them. I was like, oh, there's the boobies in that one. Okay. I have a lot of her art now. Oh.
I got through 20%. Oh, I love those covers.
I love these covers so much. Anyway.
I got through 20% of Twisted Hate. A lot of you guys have read this, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I read it. Crystal and I read arcs for it.
Do we know who the next book is? Is it Stella and Christian?
Yeah.
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 Oh, man.
I mean, it was funny because, like, I feel like you could call it from book 2, but then she was like, it's a secret. And I'm like, but who the fuck else would it be?
I mean, I know. When did Christian show up in the second one?
Yeah, I don't remember him, but
I knew that Stella was going to have a book. Like, the girl wasn't a secret, but when does Christian show up?
I do remember him now. Yeah.
It was like a very brief amount of, it was like it was the,
security guy.
He was Reese's boss.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
What I like about each of her books too, which is kind of cool, is that you find out, like, with each subsequent one, like, that each book takes place actually during the previous book each time.
Yeah.
So I like that it's like everything happens over a course of time. I have a feeling that whatever Stella's book is, her shit's been going on since the very fucking beginning.
I believe it.
Their banter is really funny in this book, though.
The opening line is one of my favorites I've ever read. Why do guys on dating apps have to hold fish?
Yeah.
Good one.
Phallic imagery, that's why. I don't know why a fish is, but,
Caught in his fish.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's right. You're so far away, Root. Cambodia or Thailand. I can't remember which. I think it's Cambodia. Yeah, when I go late at night, we get to actually talk with you. That's nice. I'm, like, getting super warm under, like, my light, drinking wine. That literally, like, my rosacea comes through my makeup at the end of the night. But it's good stuff. Yeah, Crystal, what are you reading? What did you decide to read?
Well, are we doing another sprint?
Oh yeah, we'll do one more. That'll put us at like 3 hours. I feel like that's but
so
I thought I was gonna make so much progress, Crystal. I've done like 130 and that's it.
It's okay.
Having friends is too distracting for me, but it's okay. I'd rather hang out with you guys anyway. Anyway, what did you decide to read today?
River of Shadows. That's the one.
Oh, yes.
That's the Karina Halley.
Yes.
My friend just started it.
Yeah, I've read it.
He's enjoying it. What did you think of it?
I gave it 5 stars. I liked it. It's a cliffhanger, so it's a pretty big cliffhanger, but it won't be too long. It's good. It's good. I mean, I love her like paranormal fantasy ones. Like, I'm here for it. I like a lot of her contemporary, but a lot of it I like don't. And so I hadn't read her in a while until I saw that this was coming out. And I was like, you're bringing vampires back, bitch? Okay, I'm going for it. So
what I love is it's a vampire dude and a vampire chick. It's so rare that you read them and they're both vampires.
Yep, it was super good. But yeah, I really like River of Shadows. Yeah.
Did you see the hardcover?
There's like nothing. I can't like say anything because like people need to read it because they're reading it. But so I'm just like, yep, it's great. It's good.
I just downloaded it.
Yeah. Well, and then like Karina Halley is chaotic in a beautiful way, but it's all like, why do you have a PR company that gives us a date and then you're like, surprise, it's up? And I was like, okay, that just fucked with my whole release plan of that arc. Okay, cool, it's fine. I'm glad I finished it. Cool.
But yeah, I had an arc and I did not. She released it yesterday, right?
Yeah, it was 3 days early. 4 days early.
The 26th. It says on Amazon the 26th.
Yeah,
it wasn't supposed to be until the 30th.
She dropped it at 6 p.m. last night because I was literally at the gym working out and I saw she dropped it and I was like, oh, that's a couple days early. So
yeah, I think it was an accident. She must have been trying to like upload it to something and then it just was like live.
Yeah, it's a mixture of that because she had told on the ARC team, she was like, I'm gonna drop this or I might be dropping it any day now. So maybe she didn't mean to that minute, but she was planning to drop it early. Because I'm getting one of the like boxes for it, and us on that list, she sent us like, hey, I'm gonna put this up early and then I can have because she's gonna get
I did not read that email properly then.
Because she said like, because then I can get them printed and once they get sent then they'll go out. So yeah, it said it in the email. We get lots of emails. It's cool.
I don't read everything fully.
Is she gonna have a paperback or is the hardcover the only one?
No, there's a paperback.
So on Amazon, on Amazon the paperback's not live, but the hardcover's live. So I wasn't sure.
She's getting them both approved. It'll have both.
Okay, cool.
That hardcover is gorgeous, though. I do like that.
Yeah, really liked it.
With the mirror.
Is it different?
Yeah.
Yeah. My friend shared it with me earlier, and I was like, I didn't even know she was doing a different cover for the
hardcover. She posted in her story. So I'm gonna do a side. I told so The Simple Ways of Jamie Mackenzie is the newest Jennifer Ashley book that just came out. And as I told Tori before we started, and Crystal knows because I can't keep my mouth shut, but my author interview at the end of February is going to be Jennifer Ashley. So maybe y'all want to catch up on the Mackenzies.
How am I ever going to? Do you know how many there are? I've read.
The first 5 are the most important ones.
I don't love that hardcover. I'm sorry.
Well, that's okay.
It's fine, but I love the. I'm sorry, I changed the subject. I totally ruined it.
The original cover is
the original cover is very cool.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's happening. Crystal is very upset about the hardcover.
I'm so sorry.
I just laughed because I was like,
I have to agree. It's a little underwhelming compared to the other one.
Yeah.
Is it too plain or?
It looks like dull. It just looks
like
dull.
Such a generic Photoshop cover. Like I don't feel any artistry from that. It literally looks like they used the bare minimum Photoshop skills.
Where did I see the cover? Because like it's not on her. Where the fuck did I see it?
Well, it's on Amazon right now, but she shared it in her story.
It's this one, right? This is the.
Oh. There it is.
Yeah, that's the hardcover one.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And then that's the regular cover. Like
I'm fine with it. The prettier cover is the cheaper one, so don't stress. The prettiest cover is cheaper.
I'm trying really hard not to like impulse buy it, like the paperback, like once it goes live before I actually read it because I want to make sure that I like it first.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna like it, babe. You're gonna like it, babe.
Is it similar to Black Sunshine or no?
No. Okay. No. It's a death in the main retelling. It's not. Yeah, it's not like that.
Okay.
I don't know how else to like, because they're totally different
vampires. So.
Yeah, it's totally different stories. Like, there's definitely magic involved, and maybe things she doesn't know about is kind of how it is.
So perfect for Pharaoh Feb. Got it.
Yes. Yeah, and it is like set in our world though too. So it's one of those where like, you know, like the heaven and hell is real type of thing. So you could take the river to it kind of thing. So yeah, it was good. I mean, also, Jessen, though, like, it will depend on how the second one pulls it off is the thing, too. Because I really love the setup of this. I gave it 5 stars. The cliffhanger, I was like, oh my God, that was amazing. But we'll see what if the second half lives up to it. So.
Did she announce anything about the second one when she plans on releasing that?
No. It's called the Crown of, what's the name of it? It has a title, but she just said early spring. Summer.
Y'all know how out of tune I've been, so I don't even know anything.
Yeah. I assume it'll be March or April. She cranks those out pretty quick. I mean, I think between Black Sunshine and The Blood is Love, I think it was like 2-month break. It wasn't a huge gap or anything.
Yeah, that one was actually pretty quick for her. When
Yeah.
she did those ones.
Yeah. This one is also another one where you can tell she was definitely like working through losing her parent. So
okay.
Even more so than like Nightwolf, was. That was intense.
I know, I still haven't gotten to that.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell how it's like her life, what happened in her real life is definitely reflected in that book. Yeah.
I mean, I definitely had flashbacks to my aunt. Like some of the exact scenes in there, I was like, I've lived this. But not in a triggering way. It was very like cathartic of like, I have lived this experience type of thing. But I mean, if you've had a parent in the hospital, you've lived that and it's a lot. So.
Oh, Crown of Crimson.
There you go. Thank you. So anyway, well, let's do one more. Let's do that. We'll see how we're feeling then. It's getting pretty late probably for Bree over there.
It's 10.
And for Madison too, but I know how late you stay up.
I was like, you know.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not saying it's late for you. Bree has children, and you messaged me at 3:00 in the morning. You could stay. We got to frantic messages about the Kingmaker.
When a book is good, I can't help myself. I'll sit down, I'll be like, you know what, I can do this. And then it'll be like 4 a.m. and I'm like, what's the bad decision? Probably. Yeah, but it's too late now.
Yeah. I mean, I slowly know my like friends around the world. You know, I have people in different time zones, so I know who I can message who will like answer me.
It's like a small period of time when I don't answer people.
Right. Right. I love it.
I love how Jen messages me at like 9 and she's like, I know you're probably already asleep, but I'm messaging you anyway.
Oh,
like, yes, I am asleep.
Sometimes I'll message at like 8:30 and then a couple hours later I'll be like, so you're probably in bed, but I'm just keep talking. And she'll answer me at 6:30 when she's going to school or something.
Bree does that. I'll send her a message like 11:30 and sometimes I'll get a response. Yeah. And I'm like, wow, this is like
rare.
Sometimes it's 5:45 in the morning. Yeah. Why are you awake right now?
That's my life.
I love it. Alrighty.
Are we doing 30 minutes?
Yes. Well, I'm gonna do it till 9:40.
Okay.
There we go. Diving in. Yeah. Wow. Here we go. I'm at 900 books. So we did 300 tonight. That's not bad. That's way less.
Good job.
No. Those two bookshelves are totally done. So is this one. Most of that one. We're getting there. We're getting there. Justin, you have an iPhone, right?
Yeah.
Do you have the My Library app?
No, I couldn't find the one that you were talking about. Remember whenever you first
What
told
did
me
you
about it, I
use?
said I couldn't find it, but I have another one. I just never used it. It's called
okay.
Book Buddy,
Okay.
but I never used it.
Okay.
But I should do that now.
There was just someone in my Discord asking because I thought that you did find it on Apple. So I was like, it's
What
available
did you
on
say?
Apple. And then My Library.
My.
Well, you have an iPhone.
I know, but I'm just curious to see.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. But
No, oh yeah, Book Buddy is the second one that
Okay.
comes instead.
she was
There is something called My Library, but it's not
Okay.
your My
It's
Library.
educational. But there is the Libib thing, which someone had mentioned
everyone
earlier.
making me feel good.
I
Thanks,
have
everybody.
that one too, but I never use that one either.
I'm also just super lazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, it is a lot. And if you are someone who is going to update your phone every year, you'll probably run it like, I got to figure out how to save those better. It worked the one time and I've never been, I don't know if it's just because I have so many that it's like too big to export, but we'll see. I don't know. It's worth it to me because I'm especially for my historicals. That's what it's worth it to for me is the 800 plus historicals. Because even literally in the 2 weeks that I wasn't using this, I bought a double of a book. In the 2 weeks, I bought a double of a Loretta Chase that I already had because I was going to scan in and it says, you've already added this. And I was like, what? Sure enough, it's beside my bed in one of my stacks. And then it was also on another shelf. And I was like, this is why I have the app. Because when I go to a used bookstore, I just start looking at pretty covers. And if I don't have them listed, nobody goes.
Yeah, I have like mine.
But
I just take a photo of the spines.
Sure.
And then have them favorited on my phone.
Yeah. I mean, again, like whatever works for anyone. This is just, I like also being able to put notes on it and, saying if it's read or not. If you're someone who borrows your books to family members or to siblings or whatever, you can make a note about who has it.
I used to, but I do not loan books out anymore.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the time I loaned a book. I think it was like in year 5. I lent out Princess Ben to a friend. I never got it back.
Yeah. No, and I don't. I mean, most of my friends, they don't read what I read anymore. In high school, I borrowed my books to people all the time, and I didn't care. There's 2 different kinds of books. Like when I was a teen, I was willing to let anyone read it because I just wanted people to read the book. So I was like, if it gets beat up, like that's fine. And also like my favorite books that I've marked up and written in and done all that stuff too. I obviously don't care about that. But there are also books that I'm a collector too. So I'm not, but no one's going to ask to borrow them. That's the thing. Nobody's borrowing them from me. Like my sister doesn't even read romance really anymore at all. So there's nobody I borrow them to. Also, it's a guilt thing, knowing how many books I own and being like, you own a lot. You should chill out. That never works. It never works. But.
No, it's like the way that I keep notes on my phone for my manga. I mean, it's harder now since I'm in New York because there's not many used places I can buy stuff. But when I was living in Indiana, I would go to like half price books all the time, and especially back in like Ohio as well. I'd be constantly just buying new ones, and you lose track of what volumes you do or do not have very quickly because a lot of the covers will be exact same, and I'd be like, do I have? I'm like, because I'll have
number
like
3 or number 5. Which
I'm
one?
like, I have volumes 1, 4, 6, 7, 12, 13. I'm like, which one am I missing?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a me thing. Not everyone's gonna want to. Not everyone needs to, but I like to be able to look at them. It's also how I it also helps me when I'm doing like recommendation videos. I will like scroll through when I'm looking for ideas or when I'm planning TBRs. Like I don't have to dig through my shelves. It's all on there. So it's a convenient thing. Yeah, it's a convenient thing when they're all scanned in. But
Jen, how do you have your books organized?
oh geez. I don't, my love. I really don't.
How do you find them then?
Well, okay. I just have like a general idea. And that's also why like color coded, they are colored done. Besides my very favorites. Like there's Elizabeth Hoyt's shelf up top. There's Elisa Klipes and the Bridgertons up top. But otherwise they're kind of just color coded. So when I look up the book and I see what color it is, I'm like, oh, that's blue. It's gonna be in the blue shelf. Like that's how I do it. All my like, you know, the indie books are behind me here, and those are obviously easy to see because they're the dark.
Your other historical romances aren't like, you don't have like all the authors like looped together.
Only with my favorites. Only with ones I've read already.
Yeah, see, that's my problem with the color coding is that you separate like series and
I have to have the authors together.
Well, but here's the thing. I am more soothed by the color coding now. I used to have them all alphabetically, and it was a pain in the ass because every time I bought a new one that had to fit into it, I would have to move everything. So now I just do it by color. I have 4 different shelves that are like color. And so when I get another color, it just slides in. And then if I've read it and I love it, it goes onto a shelf where it is like organized by author. But otherwise, they're just all together.
I know, like that's my biggest struggle is having them look good together. Like, but then also being able to find them is really, really hard because like if they look good, then everything's all mixed up and then you can't find them. But if you have them alphabetical, then they're all different sizes and they're
also just being honest. Like this is gonna sound like I have a really good memory for books. I don't have a million other things in my brain. It's books. Books is what's in my brain. So I generally know where I put them. I know that's a shitty answer. It's that, but it's like, I know where I know where I put it. I know which shelf it's on. Sometimes I get lost, and I have to dig for a while. But I usually know where they are because I put them away and I was like, oh, it's so pretty. I'm going to remember that. So that's a bad explanation, but I don't know. I've done the alphabetical, I've done this or whatever, but I just do them by color now. I really do like that. And then when I know I want to read it and I can't find it, I'll look up on my app what the cover looks like. And I'm like, oh, it's pink. Okay, where do I have pink ones? And then
Yeah, I'm just always curious how everyone does their bookshelves so I can kind of like get ideas of mine.
But I mean, and then separate shelves, like my childhood fantasy ones are all on one. My Harry Potter's in a pretty place. My Twilight, like those ones are in pretty places. But the only books that I like don't know what they are the historicals because I buy them based on the cover, not based on what they're.
I know.
So they're just there to look pretty. And then when I need to find them, it's usually not too big of a deal. Like if I had 4,000 books, maybe we'll be at a different level at that point. I'll just come up with a new system and actually do that. But it's safe for now. I've got the really pretty ones. All looking gorgeous. My completed set of the Mafia Wars now. So pretty. John Darwin.
I saw that in like your TikTok or something. It's so pretty.
It's so pretty. That's my favorite. My bookends with the Outlander up here. This is literally 2 rows of Outlanders. Yep. You put your money where your love is, and that's my books.
I mean, it's true.
It's true. But anyway. All right. Well, thank you, everyone who watched this chaoticness. You made it 3.5 hours with us if you made it. I said I wanted to try an epic live stream where I'm just doing it, but this is what a Friday night looks like for a bookworm.
Yeah.
Books in and listening to some smutty historical. That's what it is. And after this, I'm going to finish my Dramini fan fiction. That's what's happening tonight. So
I remember you're reading that.
I am reading that. And one of my viewers just gave me a list of Snummy, and I'm ready to dive into that. I'm ready to go. I was like, shit, I have arcs I have to read this weekend,
but maybe not.
I'm gonna find me some kinky Snape and Hermione fanfic.
I think now that you say it, I'm like, you know what? That makes total sense.
I know. Literally, my friend Jo, who she's the one who introduced me to manacles. We all say thank you, Jo. We give her the bow that she deserves. She was like, that sounds bad. And I was like, but it's student-teacher age gap. What's not to love? I don't like age gap. And I'm like, okay, we're just going to back away from that. And then I remind her that her favorite book is Akamath. And I'm like, yes, you do like an age gap, don't
it
you?
Doesn't count.
I know. I
count. when you have 1,000 years of life experience and the one person has 18, it does count as an age gap.
I don't count like the huge age gap. The 1,000
fantasies don't really count because you're gonna live forever. But when someone tells me they don't like an age gap, I'm like, but you do kind of. You don't like them to physically be older in age gap, but mentally you do because you want a mature man. You do like the aspects of an age gap. Just think of it that way. You don't physically want him to have gray hair and be a salt and pepper daddy, but you want the experience that comes with someone who's
For me, it's more the power dynamic. The power dynamic is what throws me off sometimes.
Yeah. Well,
I love a good age gap, so
I know. I understand anyone's opinions on stuff, but I'm still I'm a hoe for it. But I'm a hoe for pretty much all of it, Brie. I have no line.
There are certain ones I am a hoe for. There are other ones that I'm like,
yeah. For monsters who are ooey and gooey, that's what you're a hoe for.
I'll take a weird monster creature, whatever it might be.
I don't know what's happening. People are saying goodnight. I love it. Okay. I'll end the live part. You guys are amazing. I love you all. I was like, we could keep talking about this all night, but good night, viewers.